Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he is totally naked from the waist down.
Hello folks, and welcome to the Metal Matt Show. And this is the show before I head to Spain and then back to England for a little while. So this is cool. It's going to be exciting times. I should have a lot to speak about on the next shows, as well as today. I got lots to talk about today as well, but it's going to be cool to tell you about how all that goes. It'll be my first time in Spain. I remember as a kid there used to be someone at my school who always lived in Spain, spent half their life in Spain or something, going back and forth. So yeah, that's the only thing I remember about Spain. Really, I haven't ever been. Saying that, I think I did actually. Memories just come back. I think as a little kid I went to Spain or Gran Canaria or something. I don't know if that's that kind of way. But yeah, I think as a little kid I got no memory of it. But yeah, so actually technically it might be like my second time in Spain, but to me it's my first. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't really think of anything else to do with Spain other than they have very passionate heavy metal fans. And as this is the Metal Matt Show on Metal Stream Radio, would definitely be reminiscing with some of the concert kind of things that I've seen in Spain. I've certainly seen Judas Priest in Valencia. I've seen clips of that. That was a great show when Judas Priest got back together with Rob Halford after he left and all that stuff, and in the 90s, and then he come back in the early 2000s, and people were just so happy. The fans were so happy to see him back. Obviously, Ripper Owens stood in and did a fantastic job during that period. It was a weird period for Ripper as metal had kind of changed and he got his lucky break in a time when grunge was coming up. So, it was kind of destined not to work out, but it did work out and it stood the test of time. Even though those albums are very difficult to get hold of, for some reason, Judas Priest doesn't seem to make them readily available like the other Judas Priest albums. There's a lot of fans who still love that stuff and find it online and all that kind of stuff. And Ripper is touring those songs as a solo artist all around the world, on a regular basis, and I caught up with him a while back in Cancun, and he was telling me, he did a small interview for Metal Stream, which you might have heard, where he was just telling me about all the stuff he's got going on and heading out to Europe next and all this stuff. So yeah, he's a busy guy, and it's a great inspiration actually to someone like me and to many musicians of how you can kind of keep something going. He obviously, Rob returned to Priest, and that's like the best gig you're ever going to get, being in a band like Judas Priest, but still being able to carry on and kind of fly the flag for metal and keep your fans happy. He's really built something for himself, and he seems to play with different people all around the world. Every country he goes to, he sort of has a different band, it seems, which is a cool way to do it. Come to Mexico, he'll have Mexican musicians. Go to Spain, he'll have Spanish musicians, and that seems to be the way he rolls, and it's obviously a lot easier to do it like that than paying for the whole band to go around every country and that kind of thing. So he's really built a cool thing for himself, and it's quite an inspiration for me looking on. I don't know the inner details of any of this. This is just stuff I've observed and what I think's going on, but yeah, he seems to really have it worked out to a T, and the fans just love to see him, perform, and he does such a great job singing Jugulator and Burning Hell and One on One and all those great songs. Obviously, Rob Halford's always the voice of Judas Priest. That's what we all kind of grew up on, so it's hard to kind of adapt to anything else. But then when you can step away and just appreciate a great singer and great songs that he's done, and appreciate his time in the band, I think that's important. It's easy to be an elitist heavy metal fan, which even myself was in the early days. I didn't want to hear anyone but Rob Halford. But then the more you realise how things are and the egos and all the things, the inner workings of bands, you kind of, sometimes it loses that kind of mystique, and you think, well, these are just guys, they're very talented, and you can only go by what you think is for, who the nice guys are and stuff. And I know that Ripper's always been a real nice guy. Every time I've met him, he's just been totally real, down to earth. He's always kind of for the fans kind of thing. On stage you might appear like a big ego, because he creates that kind of, very kind of big heavy metal thing. But off stage he's a total kind of chill, nice guy, and that's something I admire. That he can, he knows how to play his part on the stage, but also he's yeah, a really nice guy. So yeah, always props to Ripper, and you know, I'm sure he's touring right now as I speak. I think he's doing something with some other guys. He often does. He did something called the Three Tremors for a while, which I think he still does on and off with some other singers, where they all kind of sing together. I don't know how it works, but he's doing some other thing now, Metal Masters or something, where there's some other singers and they tour around kind of together. It's quite a unique thing. So yeah, he's always involved in some cool projects, and you know, he's even sang on one of my songs, Razor Edge, which was really fun. That was in my early days when I was just kind of starting out. You know, I wasn't an expert yet, but I was learning, I was picking up things, and I was kind of you know, given the opportunity for Ripper to join me on my own song. So, you know, I wrote the lyrics alongside my dad. My dad chipped in with a few lyrics because I wanted him to get involved. I wanted it to be like the perfect song. So I was like, come on, let's make sure this song is perfect. And it's a very kind of classic rock track, you know. It was all about letting Ripper shine. Although the funny thing is, whenever you do something like that, a project with someone, I remember the feedback at first was like, oh yeah, Ripper's amazing, I don't know who this other guy is or whatever, because I was kind of just starting out around this time, and I deliberately stepped back with my vocal. I wasn't trying to do anything too impressive. You know, I can hit a lot of high notes and do stuff like that, and I hit some on the track, but it was never about that. It was like, I'm getting Ripper Owens on a song, let him tear it up, I'll sing kind of in between him, and you know, do some straightforward rock singing. But it's funny how that's the reaction. People often can't just appreciate the realness of what I was trying to do, and that I was actually trying to just gift people a great song, really, and let Ripper shine. But obviously people have always got to make it like, who's this other guy, who's this, you know, people don't like what they don't know. They're very, you know, in metal, like I said, it's that elitist mindset, you know. But really, I think the appropriate way to look at something like that is, cool, this guy has created a song that wouldn't have been around, you know, if I hadn't created the song. And Ripper tears it up on there, does some great vocals. And, you know, to me, that was me doing my little bit for heavy metal. But in life and as a musician, it's, you know, it's always going to be people with opinions. Opinions are like assholes, as they say. Everyone's got one, so you can't really do anything about that. But keep rocking. That's why me and myself, I don't really take on criticism in a big way. You know, occasionally there might be something you think, yeah, but I'm my own worst critic, and often the people who want to critique are just trolls and toxic people who have no talent themselves. And I think the best thing you can do is be true to yourself, keep learning, keep adapting, keep trying new things. That's what I try and do as a musician. I'm not saying every time I'm going to hit the nail on the head, but you know, if you just do what you feel, you know, who can fault you? It's like art, you know, do as you feel. You know, some people are like your painting, some people won't. It's not to everyone's taste. So if you're trying to appease people who aren't really the ones, then I don't really see the point. So I've always just done whatever I want to do, and I scream and all that stuff because I love that Rob Halford vocal approach, but my own stuff isn't really ever in my mind about replicating that. I've definitely got a unique sound within my own music, and you know, I like to keep it true to that classic metal and do some screaming and Halfordy things here and there, but there's also a whole other side to my music where it's a bit more of a larger picture, you know. It's not just about kind of replicating anything, whereas I think a lot of heavy metal these days, people are trying to replicate other things, but I always just do as I feel. And if I have collaborators, so if I'm sent a piece of music, you know, I just do what I feel. There's no preconceived idea with it. You know, I my vocal might go in 10 different directions in one song or whatever, you know. It's just whatever is coming to me, I feel is important. And also that first little spark that you get is often the good one, and I try not to kind of make things too contrived and keep going over things, because if you overdo it, overthink stuff, you know, it often won't work out. But if you go with that initial feeling, that's more organic. People will probably resonate with that because it's more organic and it's natural. Because I notice the way social media's went now, people aren't wanting to watch, you know, a rocket scientist or something. They just want to watch people eating a burger or something, and it's because, I guess, the simplicity of something real, for some reason people are craving that, I guess because people are so addicted to their phones. that they want normality, but instead of putting the phone down, they seek normality via the phone. So you're watching people eat, you're watching people react. It's like, just go to, the street and you'll see people react in real time. You don't need to watch a video of people react, Go watch someone in a restaurant, although it might look a bit weird if you're watching someone in a restaurant eating a empanada or whatever. But the thing is it any weirder than watching anyone on the phone? There's kind of we allow ourselves to be okay with things because it's on a phone, like, really it is weird to watch someone eat a burger and react to it, but it's become such a normality that, what can we do? It's always going to be there unless we put the phones down. So, but with that approach of normality, in my music, I try and add that element of just realness. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I'm trying to talk from the heart most of the time. A lot of heavy metal is fantasy. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, there's a ton of fantasy stuff. But also that music really resonated with me, and it didn't feel like fantasy somehow, even though a lot of it is. But I don't know if it was the feeling in Rob's voice and the great passion in the guitar playing, but it, I've never been a big fantasy guy, but it's strange that there is quite a fantasy element to the bands I like, but I don't see it that way. There's other bands where it's all fantasy, like a mystical kind of music, and whereas, you tell, even Dio. I mean, I love Dio. Something different about that, and then like symphonic metal and this kind of newer stuff, which I don't resonate with. I don't know what the difference is, because somehow they come across as real, or maybe it's an escape from reality somewhat. I can't explain it, but within myself, that's not how I'd naturally write, and that's why I consider myself quite unique in a way as a musician, as any musician should be unique, that should be the goal, to do something that hasn't been done, because everything's been done. If you can at least sound like it hasn't been done, or maybe it hasn't been done, because everyone's unique, because you've got a unique voice or something, that you're never going to get something exact. And it's amazing that there's only a handful of chords that make songs special or unique, or there's certain chords which will resonate with people, and a lot of these pop songs use the same chord structures, and I'm sure all these like big music moguls and all this stuff, all these industry things, they know the formula probably to an extent of what chords to use. But I think there's also a magic in music where sometimes they have to just let the artist be the artist. If you get a load of people in a business room saying, oh, you should do this, you should do that, which I'm sure they do, I'm sure they do to an extent, and with some artists completely manufactured. There's been talk of many artists who are just manufactured artists, which I can believe once they know that simple formula of chord structure and an image, or a type of person that's trendy at the moment, because everyone likes their labels these days. So sometimes they might cater it to just a certain audience, plus use the chord infrastructure that sounds familiar and will work in pop charts, and then all they got to do is put it on the pop charts. Some people have this power, but then you've got the more unique artists who can't be shaped and molded, the George Michaels and the kind of Prince and all those kind of people who were truly authentic artists, and kind of nobody's going to want to mess with what they're doing, maybe in the early days, Wham and all that kind of stuff, maybe, although I think a lot of that stuff he wrote alongside Andrew Ridgeley, if we're talking about George Michael now. But yeah, so there are artists. The good thing with music, authenticity is still a thing. Obviously there's gonna be some fakes and some industry plants, they call them. It's bound to be, because it's so easy, and songs will be put forward, if they suit a certain agenda that they're wanting the people to be thinking about or controlled by, who knows, so yeah, I'm sure there's control, and frequencies, our bodies run on frequencies, our whole world is kind of frequencies all around us, and obviously there's frequencies that will really kind of itch your brain, as they say, and that's the stuff that people keep coming back to, because someone's hit on something that just sends shivers down your spine or something, and that's kind of what you want to achieve. But you don't really seek out to do that as an artist. I'm never thinking, right, I want to itch someone's brain or hit a certain note. I hit a lot of high notes, but I'm not thinking, oh, maybe this high note's going to do it. Although it probably will. Going by Judas Priest, you know, I love certain high notes Rob Halford hits. It's just like, wow, that's just so good, you know. And it's funny how something kind of, when you think about it, it's quite primal. It's certain noises, you know, even like a lion's roar, you're like, you know, you're tense up naturally because a lot of us have evolved, I guess. I mean, there's no lions around here, but, you know, we've evolved as humans to be kind of quite fearful of that noise, that lion's roar or whatever, you know. And I think it's funny how, you know, we can hold a singer in such high esteem because for some reason, they've, like, made us feel so much love for them, and we don't even know them. It's like, oh, you know, and it probably is a science. It probably comes down to a science a lot of the time, you know, just the right frequencies, the right voice, and the right high notes and things like that, which really, you know, itches your brain, gives you that good feeling, and that simple thing alone can make us really worship someone, you know. We're like, oh, wow, this person's amazing, this singer, this man. But really, you know, it could be, you know, it's probably not that big a deal in the bigger picture of things, but somehow music's we're always gonna want to put it in a high thing, because it is, I mean, it is an amazing thing. It's one of the most beautiful things we've got, music, I think, and as much as I can simplify it in some ways and kind of think that it's quite funny, really, that it could be just quite a primal thing that makes us enjoy something, and it's not as complex as we want to make it. Like, we want to make these rock stars and pop stars be like gods, you know. Some of us, me, not so much. Maybe when I was younger, I used to worship my idols, but you realise they're all false idols. There's only one idol that we should be, you know, worshipping if we're into that kind of thing, you know, and that's the creator. Or if you're not into that, then, you know, just enjoy what's around us, the nature, the music. But I think worshipping people and kind of having idols, it's not really something that's healthy. I think, you know, as a teenager, I was more like really into the stuff I loved, the bands I loved, and all that kind of stuff. But you realise as time goes on, they're all people, you know, and their shit stinks like anyone else's. So, you know, it's not important, you know, really. The music's important. The music's what reflects with us, or resonates with us, you know. That's what we really take in, you know. But I don't think it's important really to do the whole idol worship thing, you know, as much as it comes with music and stuff. I guess that's why my own music, I've tried to be real, and, you know, I used to put on more of a persona in my early days. You know, I wanted to be something different, which does work and is probably the best approach, but somewhere along the way I kind of lost that. I used to dress up all goth and stuff and play a part almost, which worked better for me. I got a lot of followers from it, 20,000 followers on Instagram, loads of likes, all this stuff. But then all that changed, the algorithms changed, and, you know, and I changed, you know. I didn't want to play that part anymore. So I still wanted to make music and do all that, and I'll play a part for a music video or something, because I like to kind of create something cool for the videos. But I've become more and more real, I guess, and no bullshit with me, no filters, really, as I've evolved, you know, and got older, I guess. And it's all about the music for me. I want to write good songs that sound good, good meaning, good lyrics, good songs. That's what I aim to do, you know. And as much as I should probably play the part, and maybe I will go back to doing that, it's not an important part of this for me anymore. And maybe that's why the algorithms don't push me out as much, because you got to be fake to make it, in a way. You've got to, you know, play to Instagram or Facebook or any of these platforms. Their way of doing things. You've got to kind of post selfies, and you've got to post little clips which are a certain length long, and all this kind of stuff. But I've kind of stood true with the people who do follow me, and I'm not looking for just quick likes. I've got a nice steady following, you know. I've just hit 26,000 subscribers on the channel, can't make money from this channel, my YouTube channel, I mean, and I can't make money with other platforms because I think, they don't like me. But I keep doing it, I keep putting it out there, but they don't like the way I post. They don't like, you got to be almost robotic, But that's the good thing about having this Metal Stream Radio. This is where we can be real, we can play heavy metal, we can talk, we can have guests on, and it's our own platform. I think we need more of this in the future, and the future of the way things should be. We need platforms of freedom of speech without all the algorithms and censorship and all this kind of stuff. And, there are platforms out there for that, But, I'm just kind of struggling on with my kind of dying platforms because they're not what they used to be. Still got the followers, 20,000 and 26,000 on YouTube, but things are just changing. The way people are taking in art and things is different these days. People aren't finding it as important these days, I think people are so sucked in by the quick, funny videos and catchy things, and little short things. Everything's quick, everything's, nobody's got that attention span anymore. So being a musician who's more than a spec and more of a, more than a what is it they call it, a soundbite, being a musician that's more than just a soundbite is a difficult thing because they want you to just be a soundbite these days to succeed. Obviously, there's also going through labels and all that kind of stuff, which, someone like myself isn't too keen on, independent. I'm independent. I'm an independent artist. So things are a bit different for me. Always done everything myself. That's probably why it's getting harder and harder as well, because nobody wants you to do anything yourself, There's always, go through this channel, go through these people, no matter if it's a business or a music or anything, it's always like, you should go through this, you want to get signed, you want to get this, that, this, that, and the other. So I think what I'm documenting is just the struggles of an independent artist. And I mean, I should be making a lot of money on my YouTube channel because I've got 26,000 subscribers now, and it just keeps going up and people are enjoying it. But I used to have a YouTube channel which got deleted because I uploaded some Simpsons thing, and they just took it all down straight away and took my channel down with it, which I didn't realise there was a problem with this Simpson thing because they detected all the copyrights and all this stuff. And, to me, they were allowing it because it looked like they were allowing it, because sometimes you can upload something and as long as the copyright holders know you're doing it, they can watch it or whatever, make money from it. They can make money from, So it was kind of strange. They allowed my videos, but then suddenly they changed their mind, sort of thing, and then they blocked the video and then took my channel down. So then I made a new channel, but I think that channel was about 10,000 subscribers, and then I started again from nothing, and now I'm at 26,000 with this channel. And this was a few years ago. I've had this new channel. It's the only channel I remember now because I've had it a while, and now it's reached 26,000. But yeah, my first channel was monetized. Then they deleted it. Then I started a new one, and they just won't let me monetize anything, which is a real shame because, it just goes to show you can't really, as an independent artist and someone who's getting views and getting people seeing their stuff, to not get the money that other people get. It's kind of strange. I should be monetized on my channels, but it's a struggle, So unfortunately, that is how it is as an independent artist. These are the struggles we have to go through. We'll go a bit light-hearted now for the rest of the show, but I just want to delve into what it's like being a musician, because I think nobody can even imagine unless you do it and you put the time in, which I certainly have, to try to make this whole thing work, and trying to really, you do it because you've got this burning desire to make music, and you want to just, you want to make people happy. You want to kind of give people what you got from music that you loved. You want to give people that same experience, and I've had a lot of nice feedback. I'm glad people definitely enjoy what I do. I had someone comment on my YouTube just not a week ago, today. I don't know why I said a week ago, my mind's all over the place, but yeah, I was checking my notifications. Someone said, "Oh, great job," or something on a Sleeping with Sirens vocal tutorial thing. I do these tutorials, and people just keep saying it's really helpful, which is nice, you know, and that's great. I'm glad I can help people. I wish I could actually make something from it, you know. It's kind of weird having these skills, but not the means to make a living from it, you know. But I keep doing it because I'm glad to help people out, and I like singing, and, you know, what else am I going to do? Singing is my thing, writing songs is my thing, you know, and yeah, I just wish there was other ways. So I don't know, maybe in the future there'll be something better. I've always said that these platforms could just let everyone's stuff be seen, but they want to limit people, they want to kind of control, you know. Why is it we can't post something and we all get 1 million views? Or, do you know what I mean? It's just not the way they want it to be, you know, whoever decides this stuff. So yeah. But anyway, going back to Ripper Owens and the song I did with him, this is Razor Edge. Enjoy.
When your time is up, nothing left to see. You've taken everything away from me. I'm on that razor edge, dreaming of that new tomorrow. Can't slow me down. Riding fast and free, fulfill my destiny. I'm on that open road, there is no stopping me. I'm on that razor edge, dreaming of a new tomorrow. Can't slow me down. I'm on that. I'm on that razor. Dreaming of a new tomorrow, dreaming of a better day. I'm on that razor edge, dreaming of a new tomorrow. Can't slow me down. Now I will win the duel. I'm breaking all the laws. Open destiny, it's time to be set free. Gonna live my life like I'm somebody. Riding fast and free, fulfill my destiny. I'm on that open road, there is no stopping me. I'm on that razor edge, dreaming of a new tomorrow. Can't slow me down. Razor. I'm on that razor edge, dreaming of a new tomorrow. Can't slow me down. I'm on that razor edge, dreaming of a new tomorrow, dreaming of a better day. On that razor edge, razor edge, razor edge.
There we go, Razor Edge. Very early song for me, that, and you know, great to have Ripper on the song. He really teared it up. You know, he did a great. I love the high section. You know, that running fast and free, all that kind of bit was great. But yeah, we're gonna play more music in a little bit here, because that's what we're all about here on Metal Stream Radio. And like I said, it's great to have a platform like this where you know, we can be real and play great music. No no censorship from all these platforms and stuff like that. You know, this is kind of the future, I think. Like, sometimes we need to kind of go backwards into radio and things like that, you know, because things keep evolving, but it doesn't necessarily get better. I think radio is one of the best things we've had, and that's why it's great to keep this alive and keep the heavy metal playing, because this is what it's all about. You know, we love the heavy metal, and we love to celebrate it, you know. So yeah, it was cool talking to you just about what it's like being an independent artist. That was my aim for the first half hour there, just to give you an insight into how it works and the struggles and the things that come with it, and that I don't know myself what the future is. You know, I have to be honest with how things are. It's difficult as a musician these days, and I feel it's kind of my duty to make people aware of things they probably never even have thought about, you know. And yeah, not every week I'm complaining. Not this complaining, more just giving an insight. But, you know, just right now I thought I'd be real and tell you just how it is as a musician, you know, and the different things we go through. But also reflecting on what makes music, you know, so special. What is it? And, you know, what element is frequencies and things like that we resonate with, and also how important is everything else that goes with it. I mean, a good image is very important, you know. That's probably why, you know, in the early days when I was playing more of a character, it was, you know, it seemed to work very well, you know. And I mean, the good thing is people still listening to the music and stuff, but my audience changed, I believe, because I didn't keep up that act of playing a persona, a more gothic kind of persona, you know. I kind of become more real, and the more real you are, you'll lose people along the way, but you'll keep the real ones, and I think that's the important thing. But anyway, this is a great song now by Fight, Rob Halford's Fight Band. This is the demo of For All Eternity, and it's really cool. I love this song.
Emotions can't be shared. You'd walk away and show me that you care. Building walls around yourself, letting no one through. You couldn't see my hands reach out for you. For all eternity, for all eternity, the past keeps haunting me. When I drew inside myself, I did that to survive. The only way to keep myself alive. One day you realize how this all began. You didn't see the child become the man. For all eternity, for all eternity, the past keeps haunting me. Look back in time, feel the pain.
we have it. For all eternity. Love that. Great vocals by Holford and Russ Parrish. Amazing guitar solo. I just love that fight stuff. So now we're going to go on. As I've talked about how bad Instagram and all these platforms are, let's listen to On Your Instagram by Steel Panther. They pretty much sum it up in this song.
I fell in love with an angel staring at me through my phone. Not a blemish on your beautiful face. Your skin was perfectly toned, like Michelangelo with nothing to do. So he painted you, but I soon found out that it wasn't true. Why can't you look like you do on your Instagram? The girl that I want to screw is on your Instagram. Such a beautiful filter, like God himself that built her. Where's the girl that I knew on your Instagram? I looked at you for just moments and wanted you for my wife. Within a week, reality stared my eyes, and now I'm haunted for life. I used to think that catfish lived in the sea, but now it's all clear. The catfish was you, the sucker was me. Why can't you look like you do on your Instagram? The girl that I want to screw is on your Instagram. You were only lies, beautifully digitized. Where's the girl that I knew on your Instagram? If nothing is real, why do I feel the way that I If it was all an illusion, why do I follow you still? Staring as if somehow I stare long enough. My hope could make it all real. Manipulation makes the fat people fed, the short people tall. The Instagram age has ruined us all. Why can't you look like you do on your Instagram? The girl that I want to screw is on your Instagram. Such beautiful eyes could only come from AI. Where's the girl that I knew on your Instagram? Where's the
washed away, I dream of you. But nothing else could ever take you away. 'Cause you'll always be my dream come true. Woman, darling, I love you. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand. Not that I seem to say, I remember you. Through the sleepless nights, through every endless day, I wanna be saved. I remember you. Remember yesterday, walking hand in hand. Love that I've seen the same. I remember you. Through all the sleepless nights, through every endless day, I wanna be saved. I remember.
We are brought forth into this world with nothing, and with nothing we depart. So I commend this body to the ground with loving remembrance. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Just a dream. Summon the dead. Baphomet's call. Blood on my hands. Let me out of here. enemy's call. Blood on my hands, screaming in torment. I'm telling you all, take heed of my plea. Answer my call. I'm gonna be free.
Torn by the wrath that burns like a buried flame. Crossed in the heart from this voice, it's a nagging pain. Snapped to the book of God with a twisted fear. Help me from being damned by a righteous fear. It's immortal sin. It's immortal sin. It's immortal sin. Chained with a crooked stare that conceals a lie. Choked down a love that's just from an evil eye. Lost in a what I've heard through a sense of doubt. Take all the numbing grief, let the poison out. It's immortal sin. 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 Torn by the wrath that burns like a buried flame. It's immortal sin. It's immortal sin. It's immortal sin. It's immortal
Searching for some company, feel the rhythm wouldn't dance with me, then Beat-Boy Blue seem out of place. And now the world's at party pace, dance, dance on the floor. Dance, dance, give me more. And dance, dance, feel the heat. Hit the perfect beat, boy, hit the perfect beat, beat, boy. I got that feeling, them Beat-Boy feelings. I got them feeling, the perfect beat. I got that feeling, them Beat-Boy feelings. I got them feeling, the perfect beat. Beat boy, hit the perfect beat boy, beat boy, hit the perfect beat boy, beat boy, hit the perfect beat boy, hit the perfect beat boy. Come close to me, I want this to be that perfect feeling all over me. Come close to me, I want this to be that paper feeling all over me. Too close for comfort, too close for joy. Boys in the back room, got hold of my toy. Touch and kiss a stranger if all else fails. Hiding from the danger that's been sent from hell. I got that feeling, them Beat-Boy feelings. I got them feeling, the perfect beat. I got that feeling, them Beat-Boy feelings. I got them feeling, the perfect beat. Beat boy, hit the perfect beat boy, 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 hit the perfect beat boy.
Really. Anyway, guys, that was great.
Any other reason?
What? That was good. I enjoyed that, and good luck with the whole filming stuff.
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy.
Do you know what? I bloody love that. I love that on every level. I love it on the fact that I've always wanted to be properly in a music video trying to look moody, but I know that I'd look a prat. So I thought, okay, I'll do this one because it's not a serious video and I can take the piss. But I ended up actually thinking, do you know what? This song actually is not too bad. But I would love, ideally, to do my usual thing and kind of do a fake joke afterwards to pretend that it was all a joke. But I didn't want to suggest it to him because I really respected that he loved his song. And because he's such a Trigger Happy fan, he suggested that we do that. And actually, we did it really well. And it's, do you know what? It's fucking brilliant.
So I'm here right now with Metal Matt and Dom Jolly. Why are we here today?
Well, I'm here, you know, and with, like you say, the comedy legend, Dom Jolly. You know, I'm doing a music video. He was a goth in his youth. I thought he'd be perfect for this kind of, you know, this song we're doing. It's kind of a song about changes, and Dom's kind of playing...
You got the money?
Huh?
You got the money?
The money? We're just doing an interview.
Okay.
I mean, I can give it now, but do you want to do the interview?
No, do the interview.
Yeah, sorry. So the song's just about changes, and Dom's playing like an older version of me, kind of thing, you know.
Not that old, to be honest.
Well, no, but you're getting on a bit. But
Dom, could I ask you what made you decide to do this project?
The money.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he is totally naked from the waist down.
You would catch sleep wherever you could, you know, if on a bench in a park or a airport or a taxi going to the airport, you just, you know, you just get, you know, cat naps wherever you could.